A big hello to all of you. My name is Dr. Pritichhaya Tamboli, and I am working as an assistant professor in Dr. Ambedkar Institute of Management Studies and Research, Diksha Bhumi, Nagpur. Today, I am going to discuss a very interesting and a very used to topic, that is entrepreneurship development. It is a very vast field, very interesting field, and especially it is one of the very booming topics of today's world. So let's begin today's lecture with the basics of entrepreneurship development. The topics which I'll be covering in this lecture are: what is an entrepreneur, characteristics of an entrepreneur, and if you're planning to be an entrepreneur, what are qualities and characteristics and proficiency will be needed by you. So let's begin with a very basic topic, that is an enter what is the concept of entrepreneur, or who is an entrepreneur. Entrepreneur is basically a person who comes up with something new, a thing or an idea which is of his own, which hasn't been copied from any source. It is purely 100% his own idea. It might be a product, it might be a service, or it might be anything, but which has been developed corely by the person on his own, by using his own abilities and skills, and by various brainstorming sessions conducted by that particular person. So entrepreneurship is closely associated with the concept that is something new, something innovative. So entrepreneurship is also very closely related to two more phenomenons, that is creativity and innovation. A person who is willing to be an successful entrepreneur should have a quality of thinking with a creative mind and in an innovative way. There is also one concept called as intrapreneurship, which is very closely associated with the concept of entrepreneurship. So it is basically the root or the grass level is same, that is, in entrepreneurship also you have to come up with something new or something innovative. But in this case, the person who is coming up with something new is associated or is an employee of any organization. So he can think independently, he can come up with any new product or service, but he is binded by a company's rules and regulation. He is working on the rules of a company's rules and regulations. So there are many organizations in India as well as outside India who encourages the concept of entrepreneurship and believes strongly in it. Few companies to be named are Google, Infosys, ITC, Sony, Hindustan Lever, etc. So, entrepreneurship is preferred by the companies who are product centric, and especially those who considered or who value reward to a greater extent. So if we compare these two phenomena which we have seen separately just now, the comparison shows that entrepreneurs are people who comes up with something new, whereas entrepreneurs work in large companies and contribute their innovations inside the firm. They are not completely independent but are binded by the company's few restrictions. So it is often a vibe, or it is often a trend, that entrepreneurs become entrepreneurs, because entrepreneurs have 100% freedom, which is lacking in the case of entrepreneur. So if you want the full freedom, then you must switch from entrepreneurs to entrepreneurs. But we have many example in the history that successful entrepreneurs were once upon a time successful entrepreneurs at the first place, and they developed the qualities necessary to become the entrepreneurs, and then they jumped into the wide world of entrepreneurship. So if you start up with your new idea of a particular product or a service, there are many advantages of starting up a small startup or a small business instead of going for a big, middle, or a bigger one. So there are often cases in which the major problem is finance, capital. So to face the problem or to solve the problem to a greater extent, many people choose smaller businesses at the initial stage of their startups, and then move to medium and large scale businesses. So, first of all, if we focus on the advantages of small businesses, there are ample of opportunities present in that particular sector. We can start up a new product with a new product or a service with minimum financial investment. We can also focus on small things which are more important, and in this case the security is greater as compared to middle and large scale organization, as the investment is much lesser, and the comfort level in working on a small scale is much bigger as compared to middle and large levels, because the number of people involved are less, and the bonding or the relationship or the teamwork present between those people are much more comfortable and much more advantageous than in middle and large scale organizations. So it is often suggested that if you want to become an entrepreneur, you should definitely start up from a SSE, that is small scale enterprises, a small scale enterprise, and then you should eventually move to small, medium, or then to large scale organizations. Yes, as the coin has two sides, there are ample of disadvantages of small businesses as well. It is often said that the profit in small scale organizations starts within 3 months of the startup of the business. But yes, the amount which we incur as a profit or a payment is much lesser, which is definitely not in the case of middle and large scale organization. The benefits offered in this particular sector are also less due to lesser capital investment. In this particular SSE, that is small scale enterprises, we have to, the entrepreneur has to juggle between many things. He has to be an all-rounder. If he only has technical knowledge and if he doesn't have any practical knowledge, things will not work out. He has to be an all-rounder and juggle between ample of things of the business. He has to handle the planning things, he has to direct, he has to recruit the employees, he has to take care of the employees, he at the same time he has to control them as well. So he has to be the friend and the foe both in this particular case. And if we start up with a small scale, it takes ample of years to convert the small scale industry or small business into large company. You have to work very hard. At the same time, luck also plays an small part. Some fluctuations in income are also seen due to inflations, due to slowdown of the economy. These factors affect the small scale enterprises at the first place as compared to middle and large scale organizations. So many times, many small scale enterprises have to shut their doors down for the customers or the consumers due to economic slowdown, as they are the ones who get affected worsely in such phenomenons or scenario. Now, coming to the qualities that an entrepreneur should possess, there are common things which an entrepreneur should should have in his particular personality. That is first and foremost important is the risk taking ability. He should be a risk bearer. He should not show his back to small problems and run away. It won't work in the case of entrepreneurship. He or she should take responsibility of his own actions. Confidence is the key. If you're starting, start confidently. Your confidence is a key which will boost your business to higher and higher levels. You should be confident while handling the market. You should be confident while handling your employees. You should be confident while talking to the bank or financial institution people. You should be confident while talking to the government official. So confidence is a key for a successful entrepreneur. You should aim higher. Yes, always the aim should be higher. You should think big. Hard work, it is one criteria or one phenomena which you cannot avoid. You have to work hard. Nothing comes easy. For success you have to pay a very large value. Last but not the least, brainstorming. If you want to become an entrepreneur, you should have a habit of brainstorming. You should come up with ideas. You should storm your brain. You should push yourself harder and come up with ideas, innovative ideas. It is not only once in a lifetime opportunity, or it's not that you should come up with new idea only once at the starting of the company, but you should come up with new ideas continuously throughout your journey of the entrepreneur. It is also a sign of a successful entrepreneur. Then it was in olden times, it was said that entrepreneurs are born, they cannot be made. But today, it is absolutely reversed. It can be underlined, it can be confidently said that entrepreneurs are made and not only born. You can develop the characteristics in your own self to become an entrepreneur. You should have the need for achievement. You should starve. You should be crazy for the achievement which you want in your business journey. You should have a desire for independence. This is one characteristics which is often seen in many budding entrepreneurs. They are not comfort, they don't want to be confined to the office job. They don't want to work under their boss's instructions so the rest of their life. So this desire for independence, to get to be your own boss, is what drives you towards entrepreneurship. Yes, as you already discussed, confidence is everywhere and you cannot just skip on it. Sacrifices are everywhere. You cannot just skip on it. You have to sacrifice lot many things. Entrepreneurs, especially in their initial days, have to sacrifice their family life, their friend circle, and lot many things. The luxurious life, the aram wala life, everything they have to sacrifice to get into the world of entrepreneur. Then yes, only practical life and only practical fundas won't get you into the entrepreneurship. Especially in the initial days, you have to possess technical knowledge as well. You should know each and everything which is happening in your business. Just having an idea, throwing it up and starting up a business won't work. You have to know in and out of your complete business. Yes, planning is equally important. It is often said that if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Hence, coming up with a stringent, with a very strong and booster business plan which will show you the path. It will be just like a guiding light in your path of entrepreneurship. Utmost importance should be given to the planning process of entrepreneurship. If you contribute your immense effort in the first step of planning of your business, then the rest of the processes will be much easier. If the planning is underestimated due to any possible reason, the rest of the journey of yours as an entrepreneur will have to be faced with many hurdles. Yes, motivations. This is a key factor. It is often said that entrepreneurship and psychology is very, very closely related to each other. It is a mental game. You don't earn profit as of now. As on you start up a business, it takes years and years to establish the business. You have to go through lot many traumas in this journey of entrepreneurship. So your motivation is the key element. It is a deciding factor. It is often said that if you are on the edge of achievement and if you get disheartened or if you back off, you won't be able to become a successful entrepreneur. You have to keep on trying without losing your confidence. So, yes, you need to have internal motivation as well as external motivation. Yes, it is often said that money is the biggest motivator, which is exactly true in the case of entrepreneurship as well. So you have to be motivated in both the cases, that is internal as well as external. And last but not the least, you need to decide whether you have to go for a domestic business plan or a global business plan. In both the cases, there are few advantages and few disadvantages. The drawbacks for global is there is always a language barrier, a time difference, and currency problems. Laws and rules and regulations are different. You need to understand, you need to study, and you need to invest lot more things into this particular global business if you want to go for it. The issue of loyalty is also a huge question mark. And if you decide to go global, as many of the entrepreneurs in India especially are doing it at this hour, the entrepreneurs have much more financial option and the reach is global. Many entrepreneurs who start domestically have a very long journey and a very tedious path to reach the global scenario. But if you start global, or if you want to become an entrepreneur who is globally present, then it is definitely a flourishing path, but at the same time, double the hard work, double the investment, and double the efforts. So, here at this particular lecture, we have decided, we have gone through all the basics of entrepreneurs, what is a concept of entrepreneurship as well as entrepreneurship. We have compared these two topics as well as we have looked deeply into the characteristics or the traits which are required to become a successful entrepreneur. I hope this lecture was of some use to you, and we will definitely be coming up with more technical and deeper topics of entrepreneurship development. So, hope to see you soon. Thank you.